Okay, so I matriculated in 72 and then I went to art school, and eventually in 1977 I was starting to, I couldn't cope with apartheid.
Yeah.
I didn't feel strong enough to be an activist. I felt like I would just probably die, and I just ran. And when I arrived in England, then I heard what had happened to your brother.
Yes.
And the first book I read was Biko.
By Donald Roos.
And I was so shocked and horrified because it was in Port Elizabeth where I lived and grew up.
That's where he died.
And because everything was so blinkered and so censored, and because I wasn't a strong enough person to be an activist and know what was going on, I was like sheltered from all the news, like most people, and I was just horrified. And to fast forward 40 years, to be back in South Africa now, and I've been 3 or 4 years with Indoni, helping to promote them and to grow the school. And to be here today with you is such an honor, and I feel, thank God, I feel it's a gift from the Creator, truly, that I'm given the opportunity to help people's lives change, and for what your family have stood for, and it's truly an honor. And I'd love to hear a little bit about how, what you'd like to share of that time, if anything.
You know, when he was locked up in Port Elizabeth, I lived in Port Elizabeth at some stage, and he was locked up in Woma, and I lived in Woma, you know.
And I was at school in Woma, in 14th Avenue.
Now, here we are together today talking about Indoni, you know.
I know.
Right. When he died, I was back at home, you know. And that period was a very sad period, you know. And when he left home, he had some visitors from Johannesburg. So he spoke to me to look after these visitors. I was in King. And then he left. I was not supposed to know where he was going. And I didn't even ask. It's best not to know. So it was during that period, looking after his visitors, and they left back to Johannesburg, that I heard this had happened. Apparently he was arrested in Grahamstown, locked up in Port Elizabeth. So I had to be between PE and King Williamstown until we got the word, you know.
Were you able to visit him in prison?
No, you can't.
Gee whiz.
We couldn't. I just knew where he was, you know. And we tried, you know, to talk to some people like police who were working in that, it was a police station, it was not a prison. Initially, where he was locked up in the police station in Woma, then they took him out to North End prison. Now that's where he died.
North End?
Actually, he didn't die there, he was tortured there.
Yes.
And then driven to Pretoria at the back of a van, naked and chained. Can you imagine? Over 1,000 kilometers. And so that's why it was so easy that when he got to Pretoria, he just died, you know. So anyway, these things happened.
It's terrible.
We had to endure all that. Now, can you imagine seeing somebody who's suffering, not because of apartheid now, just through poverty?
Yes.
When you can look after, when you can give support to that person, it doesn't have to be money, just love.
Love
is enough.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu. And seeing that person smile because of you, it fills up your heart.
That's the true richness.
Yes, exactly.
That's what makes us rich, not the money.
Exactly.
It's the heart to heart.
Yes.
The sharing and the giving and the receiving. Because even when we give, we receive.
Exactly.
I mean, I give thousands of hours of time with my skills. But actually, in all those hours and moments, I'm receiving. I'm receiving
the
all the time. It
fulfillment.
energizes me.
Yes.
The more I do for them, the more energized I feel about it.
Exactly,
I feel
exactly.
I feel more and more honored and more grateful that I've got the opportunity.
Yes.
I feel lucky that I can live in England in my comfortable house and still be touching lives in Khayelitsha.
Exactly.
So I'm deeply grateful for that, and I'm so grateful to connect with you and hear from you and to see the positivity and the love that you exude, and with all that hardship and tragedy and horror that you endured as a family, to still be here giving and sitting so beautifully with your shining self and giving us the love. So thank you.
And I
so
thank
much.
you. I'm very happy that I'm involved in Indoni,
Right.
So I'm saying thank you very much to Balu who invited me and all the people that she works with for me to be involved.
Great. Wonderful. We all feel the same way. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good thing that we met.
Very good. Now next time I know where you are. Yeah. Thank you, Neil.